question? Yes, you got it right. We are going to talk about movies today, and I'm Niharika, your teacher for today's lesson. So, of course, practicing English is very important, and talking about movies is one of the best topics to practice English. Okay, so that's what we're going to learn about talking about movies in today's lesson. We're going to learn what types of movies, what genre movies do we have, and how do we talk about it, and how well it did on the box office or how bad it did at the box office. Okay, so let's see first the types of the movies we have. We have romance comedy, which are also called as rom-com. The main elements of such movies are, of course, love, romance, passion, emotions, okay? But also a little humor is added, and that's why we say romance comedy. Humor is added, of course, it entertains the audiences. So that's what romance comedy movies are. We also have some science fiction, which is also called as sci-fi. Okay, science fictions are basically about the alien world. Okay, it's a science depictions. They are more about robots, and they are more about aliens or spacecrafts. Okay, so that's what science fiction movies are. We have horror movies. Of course, horror movies are the scary movies. That's when people are really scared, but of course I love watching horror movies, okay, where they show ghosts and they have these special effects, the spooky effects that would scare us, okay. Then we have documentaries. Documentaries are basically those are small movies, okay, pretty short. However, they are really thought-provoking movies based on real events. Okay, they are mainly made to record history, to maintain history. Okay, but they are based on real events. Okay, it's non-fiction. Okay, there's not too much of drama, or there are no imaginary characters. Okay, so it's all on real events, right? And we have some animated movies. Animated movies are drawn characters. Okay, there are so many people who do lots of courses in order to study animation. It's because they draw characters and which are shown as moving things or moving objects, okay, also called as special effects. And almost all our movies do have special effects. But yes, we do have lots of animated movies for kids, okay? So that's what animated movies are. And then we have action and thriller. Now, action and thriller is where the hero, okay, there are lots of chases or extended fighting scenes, lots of violence, or thriller would be, you know, where lots of suspense and you're really excited to see what's going to happen next. You're really at the edge of the seat to see, oh my God, this is what happens, and you know, lots of suspense. So that's what are action thriller movies. So here we saw what types of movies, what genre movies do we have. Okay, and now we would see how do we talk about it with your friends and family. So now we are going to look at how we describe the movies. How do we talk about it? You recently watched a movie and someone would ask you, so how was the movie? Did you like it? So here are some sentences that would help you talking about the movies. Of course, there are people who say it was nice, it was fun, we really enjoyed it. But that's just common, isn't it? Why don't we learn some new ways of describing the movies, okay? So I have something over here. It was heartwarming and a total laugh riot. Now, what do you think, what kind of movie describes this? Well, it is romance and comedy, okay? So, of course, romance and comedy is full of emotions, affection, love, and that's exactly why we say it was heartwarming, where it affected you emotionally, of course, in a positive way. Okay, so it affected you emotionally, and it was a total laugh riot. So laugh riot is basically, it was extremely funny, it was hilarious. Okay, so that's how you explain how you enjoyed a rom-com movie. Okay, now we have the special effects were breathtaking. So what do you think? What kind of movie would this be? Well, you got it right. It is a sci-fi or also an animated movie. Okay, so where there are special effects and they were breathtaking. So breathtaking means they were incredible, like amazing. You were so amazed to see the special effects. Okay, so you can also say that they were incredible. Okay, so that explains how much you enjoyed the special effects of an animated or of a sci-fi movie. Okay. Then we have, it made my blood run cold. Now this is an idiom, okay? It made my blood run cold, or you can also say it chilled my blood, which of course means that you were scared, okay? You were so scared watching a movie. So that explains that you just watched a horror movie. Of course, horror movies are extremely scary, isn't it? So that's why you can always say, rather than just saying, oh, it was really scary, you can say that it made my blood run cold or it chilled my blood. So everything was just so scary and spooky that it made your blood run cold. Okay? Then we have, it gave me food for thought. Now again, this is an idiom. Okay, it gave me food for thought, which basically means that it was an extremely thought-provoking movie, which explains that maybe you just recently watched a documentary, okay? And usually documentaries are so intense. It shows you the reality, okay? Like the other day I watched a movie about malnutrition in Africa. So that was just, you know, I mean, it made me think that, oh my God, this is real. And that's why I can say that it was food for thought. Okay, so that's how you can explain these real intense thought-provoking movies. And then here we have the plot was intriguing. Well, the plot was intriguing. First of all, what does the plot mean? The plot means the story, the concept. Okay, like every movie, if it's a drama, okay, they have a concept, they have an idea, they have a story, isn't it? So a better word to use is the plot was intriguing. Intriguing means it was extremely interesting, okay? Okay, so it was so interesting that you were on the edge of your seat and you were really enjoying the suspense, the thriller, which explains that this movie was an action thriller. Okay, so these are the positive ways of explaining how you enjoyed or how you liked the movie. And not necessary that you always like a movie. Okay, there are times when the movie are awful, they're hideous. Hideous means they are ugly, disgusting. Okay, so how do you explain that? Well, rather than just saying that it was bad or it was a flop, it would not fare good on box office. The other ways of saying would be that, oh my God, the movie was just like watching the grass grow. Okay, watching the grass grow means it was so boring, okay? It's an idiom, watching the grass grow or watching the paint dry. You can't just keep sitting and watch the paint dry, isn't it? It's going to take several hours. So this means that the movie was extremely boring. So that's how you can explain if you didn't like the movie, okay? And now we would learn some vocabulary in regards to talking about a movie, okay? So now let's look at some words, that is vocabulary, related to the movies. We have casting. Now casting is basically the whole group of actors, okay, who are in a film. So that includes the lead actors, the glamorous female actor, the male actor, the supporting actors, and of course the villain. And the villain is the bad guy of the movie. Okay, so when you talk about the star cast of the movie, when you say, oh, the performances of the star cast were brilliant, it means we're talking about the casting of the movie, okay? Then we have veteran. A veteran is an actor who is extremely experienced. Okay, he's been working for years together and is extremely versatile. An experienced actor. Okay, so we call him as a veteran. Then we have dubbed. Now, dubbed is basically if a movie is in Spanish, okay? It's in Spanish language, and now the movie is doing so well that it's released worldwide. So in order to the people should understand, isn't it? If it's a Spanish movie, not everybody would understand in the world, right? So they dub the movie in different languages. So either they dub it in English, or they also dub it in Hindi, or they dub it in French. So that's called the dubbed movies, okay? Then we have subtitles. Subtitles are basically the dialogues written. You would always notice it below your screen, okay? The bottom of your screen, not below your screen, I'm sorry. Where the dialogues are written in English, okay, in order to understand. If it's a French movie, in order to understand what they're talking, so that's subtitles, okay? Then we have cinematography, which means it's the art of photography in filmmaking. It's an art of photography. Okay, in filmmaking. Okay, so basically when you might have heard people saying that, oh, the cinematography of this movie was excellent, so this means the camera work, the art of photography was fabulous. Okay, then we have a trailer. A trailer is a 2-minute summary of the movie. Okay, it basically it tries to attract you to watch the whole movie. So they put the best scenes or the best shots in order to attract you to see the movie, come and see the movie. Okay, so that's a trailer. It's also called as flicker. Okay, there's another word to it. That is flicker. You can say, oh, the flicker looks excellent, I better go watch this movie once it's released. Okay, so that's a trailer. Then we have a sequel. Sequel is a movie's another part which basically continues the story or continues the theme to a second movie. So we never say it's part 1, part 2, part 3. We always say that it's the sequel of the movie. Okay, so we have several sequel movies like Hangover, we've got Spider-Man, Superman, so those are all sequels, okay? Then we have a cameo. A cameo is basically a guest appearance, okay? Like in a movie, there's this experienced actor who just gives a guest appearance or a special appearance, okay? Gives a special appearance, all right? In order to maybe, of course, the movie would do really great if a very versatile or very great leading actor gives a cameo, then it's one of the attractions for the audiences to come see the movie. Okay, so that's a cameo. Then we have a blockbuster. Blockbuster means the movie is a blockbuster, or the movie was a blockbuster. This means it is an excellent movie. It fared really well at the box office. Box office is basically the total amount. Box office is the total amount, the money collected worldwide for a particular movie. So when we say, how did the movie fare at the box office, then we can say, oh, it was a blockbuster. Okay, so it means it was an excellent movie. And then there's another word here, that it bombed, like the movie bombed at the box office, means it was completely failed. It was so bad, it fared really bad at the box office that it bombed. Okay, so bombed means it failed. All right. So these are the certain words that you can use when you're talking about movies. Okay, so go enjoy your movies, talk about it to your friends and families. Let me know which is the latest movie you watched and how did you like it. Okay, so I'll see you soon in the next lesson, and you take care. Have a great day.